This call to order at 6 o'clock. Please rise. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you everyone for coming here. We broadcast live over here at Channel 12, and we are also being broadcast on YouTube. Deputy Clerk, could you call the roll?
Prater,
Here.
trustee Kelly,
Here.
trustee Martin, and trustee Wayne are excused, treasurer Bud. Treasurer Wright is excused, supervisor McNamara.
Here.
No quorum.
Thank you. We'll begin with the adoption of the agenda. Trustee Kelly, can you make a motion? Make a motion to adopt the agenda. Supervisor Treasurer Bud. I have a motion, I have support. Hearing no further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next item is adoption of the consent agenda. Trustee Frazier, can I have a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the consent agenda as presented.
The board meeting minutes, prepaid list and the voucher list. Can I get support? Support. Okay. You got a motion, by trustee Frazier, support by treasurer Bud. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? This motion passes also. All right, so I think we skipped over one executive summary. Executive summary is simple today. We're basically going to be having a discussion on a selection of sign company for the community center. We're also going to be releasing funds for the building out of the Denton Road Bridge, doing some of the engineering. And we're going to be having a discussion with Fishbeck over an hourly rate adjustment. And finally, we're going to be doing a big thing for us as we start 2024 departmental fee schedule. How much we're going to charge for fees. That's that. Moving on to public hearing. I need a motion. We're going to go into public hearing, so I need a motion to open the public hearing.
I make a motion, we open public hearing.
Okay, the motion, I've got support. This public hearing, motion to open the public hearing for, I have to read this off. The 2023 amended and 2024 proposed general fund budgets. The 2023 amended and the 2024 proposed water and sewer budgets. The 2023 amended and the 2024 proposed special revenue budgets, which include the Downtown Development Authority budget, the Local Development Finance Authority budget, the landfill fund, the Belleville Area Museum budget, the 9/11 dispatch service fund, the federal forfeiture fund, the state forfeiture fund, the long-term debt fund, and the capital improvement fund. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor of opening the public hearing? Aye. Opposed? We are now open with a public hearing. At this time, this is when the public is allowed to come forward, among other times, and ask any questions they want on the current budget. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to come forward and ask any questions on the budget or any of those items that are on? Do we have anybody virtually that is looking?
No, Supervisor.
Can I get a motion to close the public hearing? I have a motion by Treasurer Bud, supported by Trustee Kelly, to close the public hearing. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. We are out of public hearing. Next item is correspondence, announcements, and presentations. Does anybody have any correspondence? I don't really have any right now either. Okay. Is anybody public, for now in the public comment, is anybody from the public here to make comment on any of the issues that are before this board today? Anybody from the public that wishes to make comment on any issues for the board today? Okay, nobody digitally? No, okay. Go to public comment. Unfinished business, we have none, we're ready to new business. Line item number 1, discussion on to consider approval of the selection of Praise Sign Company for the community center signage project. Cost of this is $61,140. Can I get a motion to hear?
I would move to consider approval of the selection of Praise Sign Company for the community center signage project for $51,000.
Support.
Director, no.
So the community center interior and exterior signage RFP hit the street on August 31st. On September 19th, proposals were received from 4 vendors, opened and read aloud publicly. A post-bid interview was conducted with the apparent low bidder, which was Praise Sign Company, on September 21st of this year. The project team is here tonight to recommend to the board of trustees to consider approval of the selection of Praise Sign Company for $61,140. This was a budget expense for the project in the project budget. And then on the screen, we have some renderings of what the exterior signage will look like. Go through. So we have some pin-mounted letters on the side of the building, illuminated logo on the tower, and more pin-mounted letters on the main entrance. The waveform, which is carried throughout both exterior and interior parts of the building. The back of the outdoor space. That's the exterior signage. And then the interior signage, we have a bunch of different kinds of signage. This is one that we're able to place on all the doors inside, post any announcements instead of taping anything on the walls and doors. And then obviously we have certain required code signage for ADA, just some generic room signage like this. And then we have rule signs for a lot of our different spaces. Some wayfinding signage. And then this is one of our favorite parts. We have a statement wall when you walk in, and there's going to be a petrified moss wall with mounted letters and logo in the middle of that. That's kind of a little bit of a rendering of that thing. And then we have a really fun fake neon sign for our team space. A dedication plaque. And then a traffic sign, and then just some final signage on it. Is there any questions?
Oh, sure. So we had some discussion about whether we use the word charter. The only people that use the word charter are the townships that know what it means, so everyone can try to your charter. I have no questions, but I've gone over this, so my eyes won't bleed. I think it's beautiful. Let's put up the racing wheelchair. I like that. So every single of these pictures of the community group, the community services group went through and shows, and it's kind of cute. Some of the stuff they found, like this logo, I like that. And, oh, come on. The whole place is gonna be fun. And you want to discuss the wall for a second, the moss wall?
Again, this is the rendering of what it'll look like. It's, I would say historic. It's petrified moss. So it requires a lot. It does not require a lot of maintenance, just usually quarterly. The pin-mounted metal like letters in the middle. Not sure what else to say about it, but it's great.
Yeah, kind of cool, unique architectural feature. Okay, I guess I don't have any questions. Anybody else? Okay, thank you. We have a motion by trustee Kelly, supported by trustee Frazier. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you. Next item is discussion on the approval of releasing the remaining funds for the Denton Road Bridge preliminary engineering. Can I get a motion? Here.
I move to consider approval of releasing the remaining funds and appropriate for the area.
Support.
Director?
Good evening. At the May 2nd, 2023 Township Board meeting, the Township Board released $100,000 to begin preliminary engineering work on the Denton Road Bridge. Township engineers have been progressing on the project and are coming close to the spending threshold. In order to continue design work and stay on our targeted timeline, we will need to release the remaining funds. Due to this, staff is requesting the Township Board authorize the remaining $317,700 for the project. On Monday, I had a discussion with the Wayne County Engineering Director regarding the status of the intergovernmental agreement. They indicated that they have begun working on it and have requested documentation for us to move forward. We have provided some of that documentation regarding state funding to them, and we'll have the remaining documentation they requested by the end of next week. Included in the packet is an update from the engineers on specific tasks they have completed as part of the bridge engineering design, as well as what we're currently working on. I've also included the original documentation and engineering proposal in that as well. As we discussed before, we are continuing without the reimbursement of the county. However, the funds have been secured from the state, and the county has indicated they are working on the preparation of documents. As we have specified previously, the main purpose for moving ahead in this fashion is to ensure that we're able to have plans ready to bid out next year. There are some other factors which could provide delays and limit our ability to begin construction or continue to be able to put ourselves in the best possible position for building this. That concludes my summary. I'm available to answer any questions as well as Mr. Kamer.
So, give us a short update of where we're at. Report.
So there were a number of studies and preliminary engineering tests that were completed in the beginning stages of the bridge. It was more discovery. So they completed the topographic and hydraulic survey, the entire causeway and the captured clearance of that road bridge. They did geotechnical work, which is soil boring, where they dig down and see what the bottom of the bridge is made of. They completed the NEPA forms, which are environmental assessments that federal government required in the state. They've also completed the State Historic Preservation Office application. Those will be submitted when MDOT releases the job number, which they're hoping to do this week. Muscle recon survey was completed today, and Mr. Kamer indicated that the results of that seem promising. The state's last review and sign off on it, but
Promising means you didn't find muscles.
I believe so. So the state has to sign off on it, but that looked good. They also completed a survey. They identified an endangered species called the water willow at the base of the causeway. So they did an assessment of that. The report being finalized to determine what potential impacts on that could be. They're also they began discussions with DTE. As you know, there's a gas main on the bridge, so they're working with DTE to coordinate that. And then they've begun to work on what's called type, size, and location plans, which are the very preliminary stages of the bridge plans to look at the layout and then start having conversations with the state as far as the design goes. So they made quite a bit of progress. We're continuing to move forward. Our timeline looks for that in May of 2024. We're optimistically moving towards that.
Anybody have a question? Okay, we need to keep money flowing, so we keep project moving. All right, I have a motion by trustee Kelly, supported by treasurer Bud. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next item is a discussion on and to consider approval of the Fishback hourly annual rate adjustment, which will be in effect until June of 24. Can I get a motion?
To the chair. I move that we can approve the Fishback hourly annual rate adjustment, which will be in effect from now until June 2024.
Okay, Director.
Thank you. The Municipal Services Department has received the 2023-24 hourly rate schedule increases from our as-needed engineering contractor, Fishback. The average projected rate increase reflects a 4% increase. This is the fourth rate increase for Fishback since the township got working in 2017. We've attached to this board action the rate increase history and the proposed rates. We have looked at comparable communities, these to be consistent with rates that are paid by adjacent other communities. The 4% increase is also consistent with the current CPI consumer price index rate for the last 12 months, which according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is at 3.7%. With that, I conclude my summary. I'm available to answer any questions as well as Mr. Taylor.
Now, we go through this, we back everything now and then, but this one we understand. And we do have a very, very good engineering. And very happy with them. The one of the best in the country. Well, other than here, but state know that. They important thing. So, well, we want our stuff we build right. Also last. Built monumentally, so last 100 years. So, all right, I have no further questions. I have a motion by trustee Frazier, a support by trustee Kelly. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is consider a resolution for the department fee schedule. Well, everything to do with here. Here. Trustee Kelly.
Consider approval resolution 123-25, 124 department.
So I've got a motion by Kelly and Treasurer was supporting. So the was it Frazier?
Oh, whatever.
That's not right. Let me see, hang on a second. I'm supposed to what's that?
I'm going to that.
Okay, actually, I don't think you know this. You're listed as a presenter. Tell you what, I have Director Akers here. Could you step forward? And Director Wardell, could you step forward? So the fee schedule is basically how we make our money. We are a township, so we basically don't really. Most of the services that we provide as a township, we expect to break even on. Based upon that, Mr. Akers, could you give us a general rundown on the building side of the permits piece?
So there were a few changes to our building department fee schedule. There were a couple minor modifications of a couple line items based on what we would typically do when we review our building department fee schedule. We look at what our actual costs are to perform the type of work. So there were a couple line items that we adjusted in that. We reformatted our building fee schedule to be consistent with the building fee schedules that we have on our applications. That way it's easy transition for our staff as far as updating items. And it's also the same when people look at the application, what's approved by the board. One of the other probably more significant changes we made to our building department fee schedule is we took a lot of the items that were related to fire suppression. We separated them out to a separate fee schedule. By doing that, we are making sure that those fees are consistent with the hourly rates that the fire department charges. So all the changes that we're making are for consistency. If there have been a few minor adjustments, I apologize. I don't have them in front of me, but many of the changes were minor. There were fact, fire department fees, and there's been a few minor adjustments.
Generally speaking, if you take building and planning, you look at all the costs associated with development, with working in there, those areas, and the consultants, including Fishback. And you look at all those costs, if you go up to the revenue section, look at the revenue section, you'll find that when you add the revenue that the permits, these, they'll all pretty much wash each other out. So that's where those numbers come from. There is another scrutiny, so that we lose money out. Anyway, that's our community services piece. This is what we basically are giving back to the community.
Absolutely. Good stuff. So before we get to the community center, the other two areas that fall under our fee schedule, one is the Belleville Area Museum, which we're super excited to be opening back up in December. We also have an esteemed volunteer here with us tonight. Dave, I'm gonna embarrass him, but Dave's been helping us out, and I would pull my hair out without, so thanks, Dave. Anyways, back to the fee schedule. So we haven't necessarily touched this for a few years. The way that the museums is structured for next year is for suggested donations. Back when we did the public engagement, there was a lot of interest in doing an actual admission. We just didn't feel quite ready for that without knowing what our traffic is going to be like, and so we kept it as a suggested donation. So there's suggested donations for adults, seniors, and students. And then there's some photocopy fees, but nothing major on that. The admission for the suggested donation, $5 for adults, seniors $3, and students $2. And again, just suggested donation. The parks fee schedule, everything basically remained the same. We did increase our largest pavilion in Van Buren Park to match Port and French Landing, which are higher fees for those pavilions. So for example, in Van Buren Park, Meadow and Grove are our two small ones. There are $120 for the resident fee, and the non-BBT resident is $140. And we bumped Lakeside, the big one, up to be $180 and $200 to match Port and French, just to have a distinction between the two sizes. They're almost double in size. And then that was all that changed the parks one, and then our big new fund fee structures for the community center. So a lot of planning and research and everything, mostly done by Director Langline, went into this. And so one of the things that we found out when doing this research was everyone, our sister and brother communities, recommended to us that we try to keep it as simple as possible. You go on some of these community center sites, they have 87 different fees. So we try to keep it as simple as possible. So they're kind of broken down into two main sections, which has to do with billing. So we have annual memberships, which are a slight deal compared to the automatic billing memberships, which are going to be charged monthly. It's still going to be a 12-month commitment, but it's a little bit more accessible to make those smaller monthly payments for some people. So we wanted to do that. And then the main types of memberships are individual. So these are people 16 years and older can have their own individual membership. We have a family membership, which accounts for 2 adults and whatever dependent children are in the same household. We also have a fee for additional family members. So an additional adult, same household as family membership. We have senior membership. So we have 2 different types of senior membership. We have a senior matinee. So what this is that the hours for this membership are restricted to open to 3 p.m. So very similar to what the old senior center hours were. And then we have an open senior membership, which basically is all the hours that we're going to be open for the community center. And so for senior memberships, one major change that we're making going into opening the community center is that we're changing the age from 50 to 62. However, that being said, existing senior center memberships the existing senior center members that are members right now will be grandfathered into the fee structure, and they'll still be considered. So say, for example, there's a 55-year-old that's a member of the center right now, we're still gonna consider them a member going into the community center. But new people, we're adopting the 62 years. And that's the main layout. Are there any questions about what we're proposing? Dr. Sandlin, you want to add anything? You probably could have explained this to me better.
That's a good job. No, Elizabeth covered everything. What we did is there was a lot of time and effort spent in looking at this. We kept our costs really low. We want this to be something that's easily accessible to everyone. We find throughout life that when you pay a little bit for something, you tend to value it more than if it's free. We just need to put a value to it. And so when you're looking at these different memberships, it's very affordable. The individual for the year is like $120, which ends up being about $10 a month. The family is $240, that's about $20 a month. And excuse me, when we look at memberships, what that's going to give you is that, you know, anybody can come in, there'll be daily fees, you can come in and pay and use the workout facility, you can use, go into the gym for classes and different things, but as a member, you're going to be able to use the tracking time, the workout facility. Excuse me, when the open fitness room is, we're not having classes, that'll be a great room to go in for stretching and other types of physical fitness activity. Members will get discounts on events, on classes, on when we have our child watch area. They'll be able to have member-only events once a month. We're hoping to do like a member-only fun family activity that will be open to them. But anybody will be able to come into the center, pay for classes. It's just as a member, you're going to have that benefit of being able to sign up first, get a little bit of a discount, and really just kind of join our family here at VBT. We're really excited.
So originally, we talked about, and I talked about it a lot, I think, that I wanted this to be free. Probably a third less than what anybody else is charging here. Same services. It's not that this is gonna make us, or anything, more about being involved, the fact that they're going to have ownership on this also. Having a family membership at $20 a month. Shouldn't. $50 for a matinee a year. You talked about moving that.
We did. So the senior matinee, which kind of mirrors the hours before, but I will say that before, when we were open here at Township Hall, the senior center was technically open until 4 o'clock Monday through Friday. So this does give them additional hours on the weekends. And that senior matinee is $20 for residents, $25 for not. So we're not changing the price on our senior center members.
Yeah, and that's currently what we charge, even though we don't charge.
Right, we haven't charged for the pandemic because we know we put them through a lot with moving back and forth. But once we're, you know, before we had moved, when we were still
So it's
open
not
here.
gonna change senior membership, of course, but it's the same senior membership that they had, of course, for the senior center, and they had use of the other center until, 3 o'clock or so. I think they'll over a little bit ago.
Well, the nice thing will be that they have their own space, yet they have the rest of the BBC as well. So those other areas are open, and I expect a lot of traffic up on that track. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And I've noticed that a lot of other community centers actually have senior centers attached to it, but they make the seniors buy punch cards to use the track. So they've isolated them and cut them out of the community center area. So, okay, I have no questions then, all right.
Thank you.
I have a motion by Trustee Kelly, support by Treasurer Bud. Hearing no further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Is this supposed to be roll call vote? No. Reports, we have none. Public comment for non-agenda items. Does anybody from the public wish to comment on any non-agenda items? No. Anybody from the board want to make comments? I want to say thank you, Dave. You're over and over. Thank you for everything you're doing in the museum, and I hear it over and over from those two. Anyway, I have nothing else. Anything else? No. Can I get a motion for adjournment? What? Frazier? No discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?